Hello everyone, welcome back to the new video, and today we are talking about chatbots. We know the chatbot functionality in literally every application or support chat where you can interact with the bot and it will help with your queries. So for the sake of this video, we are going to see how you can test for vulnerabilities in the chatbot functionality, or how you can disable a chatbot or kill a chatbot when you are testing this feature. So obviously we are doing this in a safe environment. We are using a lab, and as you can see, my lab is running over here. It's OWASP Juice Shop. Okay, so this is intentionally vulnerable application. So let's go to the support chat, and we have the support chat feature over here. We can just simply interact with it and we can see that it is replying to us. Okay, so as you can see, I'm logged in as well. And okay, and this is actually a token, and you must be wondering why it's giving me a token. We will go into that soon. This is the functionality of this bot. Actually, if you give it your name, it's going to respond with a token. Anyways, but that's not important right now. We want to test for bugs here. We want to see how we can kill the chatbot so it's unresponsive to everyone. Okay, so before we move into that, let's go to the inspect. Let's see what we got in the sources. Let's type in chatbot, increase the size a bit. And we can see some references over here. Let's go to this, get chatbot status. This one looks a bit interesting. Chatbot status and handle response, send a message. Okay, this is some basic functionalities we can see over here where it's telling how to handle the message and how to give a response in the UI. But we want to understand how we can play with this chatbot and what we can exploit here. So the vulnerability that we are exploiting in this case is server-side JavaScript injection. A lot of you might not have heard about it. Let me know in the comment section if you know about it. So let me Google it. Server-side JavaScript injection. So you can get an idea. As you can see, server-side JavaScript injection, it's a critical vulnerability that occurs when a web application incorporates unsanitized user input into strings that are dynamically evaluated by the server's JavaScript interpreter. While similar to cross-site scripting, which targets the user browser, SSJI allows attackers to execute arbitrary code directly on the application server, typical within Node.js environments. Okay, it gave us a little hint as well. Let's look at the common vulnerable functions. Evaluation functions like eval function, set timeout. You must have noticed eval functions also being used in SSTI server-side template injection cases, but it is also used in SSJI cases as well. So there are some system interaction as well. Improperly handled functions from child process module like these exec spawn fork can lead to OS command injection, but I don't think this is interest to us right now. It's just giving us extra information. What is interesting to us is this one, evaluation functions. But there are more than this actually. It has not mentioned it over here, but let's go back to the OWASP Juice Shop and let's look at the Webalizer. In Webalizer, we can see the programming language is in Node.js and we have Angular. So now we know that, okay, it's using Node.js. Let's look at some functionalities or some evaluation functionalities in Node.js that can lead to SSJI. For that, I'm going to open Gemma. Okay, so let's type in the prompt. Give me some functions in Node.js that can lead to SSJI vulnerability. Okay. It sure takes a little time, but I think it's not that bad actually, considering the restrictions it doesn't have. Like if you're bug bounty hunting and you don't have a premium subscription to Claude or ChatGPT, then I think you can use Gamma 4 because it doesn't have restrictions. So if you're gonna ask for prompts for bug bounty hunting, it will give you. Okay, so first one we have is eval. And second function, okay, not something important. I'm looking for a specific function so I can show you. Yeah, this one, the VM module virtual machine. This one is very interesting for us. The VM module is designed to run code in a separate context, like in a sandbox. Crucially, the VM module is not a security mechanism. It is intended for isolation. Okay, I thought it is similar to sandboxing, but not sandboxing. An attacker can almost always escape the VM context to reach the main Node.js process. Seems like it's not very secure. So we have few functions from this module: run in context, run in new context, and scripts. And this is how you initiate sandbox. It's calling it isolation, but not sandboxing, because I think it thinks like sandboxing is more secure, but any sandbox that can be escaped is not secure. It literally depends on the condition, but I'm gonna call it sandboxing. That's not a wrong way to say it. Attack payload. Attackers can use the prototype chain to get back in the main process. We'll look into that later. So we have some template engines as well, indirect SSJIs, but again, we're not gonna look into that. So now that you know about the VM module, what we're gonna do, we are gonna look at the source code. We're gonna review the source code because you should learn how to read source code as well if you have access to it. For example, if you're in pen testing, but in bug bounty hunting, you don't have access to source code, so it's gonna be a blind approach. But you can get the lead by looking at the technologies. Any application that is using Node.js and has a support chat feature, you can definitely start testing out for the exact vulnerability I'm testing here. So let's open up OWASP Juice Shop GitHub page. We're gonna go to routes. And then we're gonna look for Chatbot. Any file that has a Chatbot. Where is it? Yeah, over here. Chatbot.ts. Okay, so here is the file. I just wanted to show you because there are more files that we need to look at, the important ones, but let's start with this one, initialize chatbot. So this is basically initializing the chatbot and loading up the training file that contains the training data for the chatbot so it can interact with the user. So as you can see, it's doing some function with the training file, and then it is processing the user input, and it's giving 503 if the chatbot is not available. But if the chatbot is just working fine, it's gonna respond like this. So if I scroll down, we can see over here we have another function, set username. So set username function receives this input, whatever input that user passes, and passes it directly to a library. This file over here is just handles a web communication. It receives your HTTP request, that the JSON you send, and checks if you're logged in, and then passes your input to the chatbot library. So let me go back to the application, and if I click on inspect, and where is, yeah, rep plus. Okay, so this is one of the extension that I use, and I think it's pretty cool. So let me send another message, hey. So as you can see, this is very similar to repeater. I'm not promoting this actually, I just came across this and I'm just using it. Never mind. Okay, so if I open this up, you can see it shows my target and the request I'm sending. So we have the endpoint, rest chatbot, respond. So I just wanted to show you how the JSON body looks like. It's a query, and this is the message, hey, we send over here, hey goes over here. In the query, we get a response, action, and body. Anyway, so this is the kind of request and response we are getting. Just wanted to show you. But all of this UI thing happening over here is happening in the chatbot.ts file. Now let's look at what actually happens once the user passes the input. For that, we have to go to a different file. I'll provide the link in the description of these particular files so you can have a look at it. Okay, cool. So we are now looking at index.ts file, and this is exactly where some backend logic happening. Cool. As you can see, this is importing VM, the exact function we saw over here, the VM module. So it means that there's a chance we can escape out of the sandbox and inject our own payload some way, and we can make the chatbot do whatever we want. But the goal is to disable the chatbot in this case, so that's what we are going to do. So there's a lot of stuff in here, but we're gonna look at this function exactly: add user token name void this factory.run. So this function is really important over here because it builds the executable string. So what this method do is it basically takes your input and it places it in JavaScript template string. As you can see, this is the template string and your name simply goes over here. So this constructed string is passed to different function, which is this.factory.run, which treats the string as live code and executes it using virtual machine, the VM module we saw. This is very similar to what we do with eval. In eval, we pass in a code and eval simply executes the code for us. Exactly same thing is happening here, but with a different function and module, that is VM. So in this case, we can just simply escape out from here, just like we escape out of the XSS payload by adding in a quote to close the string and then injecting our own payload. Similar to that, we can add our own payload that can disable the chatbot. Okay, so let's do it. I'm gonna open my notepad. Okay, so we're gonna set our username as admin, let's say, and then we are going to close the string. Circular braces, then we are closing it with a semicolon so we can add our new statement. The new statement goes like this: process query equal null, and then semicolon, we're gonna say users dot add user, and then we are gonna add a random user ID, and then a quote and name of the user, which in our case is test. Okay, so now we are going to copy this and go to the OWASP Juice Shop, and over here we're just gonna type it in the text box and hit enter. Okay, it says that we have solved the challenge. Kill chatbot, permanently disable the support chat so that it can no longer answer customer queries. So it is permanently disabled for everyone. So why we added this value null is because, let me go to chatbot.ts. Over here, you can see the process. There was a function called process query. Where did it go? Yeah, process query. So as you can see, if the bot value is set to null, it's gonna be unresponsive to the users. Figuring out, we set the value to null, and then the next thing we did is we simply tried to add another user in the database with the name test. So yeah, not just killing the chatbot, but also adding my own user as well in this statement. Anyways, this is crazy, and this is how you can test for it. There are obviously very different kind of payloads that you can try, and you can play with using any of your favorite AI you like, and you can learn more about it there. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.